937-457-1290. Parker, I got a question for you. You know who's really enjoying the snow today besides the sledders?
Who's that?
It's the skiers.
Oh, yeah?
The snow skiers.
Yeah.
Now, my question is, have you ever gone snow skiing before?
I have not.
No. Is it something you'd want to try?
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Really?
Yeah.
So when I was growing up, I grew up in Beaver Creek. I've mentioned that before, but we get new listeners all the time. They don't know me from Adam. My buddies and I, we used to go. Well, they were the skiers. I was more of the sledder. I was not. I just wasn't. That just wasn't something that I was excited about trying. Was skiing. In fact, my sister went skiing and she tore up her knee doing that. So I was like, this is not something that I think I should probably be doing. But we finally twisted my arm to give it a try. And there used to be a ski hill in Bellbrook. It's like Bellbrook, Sugar Creek area, Sugar Creek ski hills. I forget what it is now. The lodge is still there, but I think it's maybe I don't know if it's a service facility for Sugar Creek or I don't know. But you can still obviously see the hill, right? And they finally got me to go skiing. Now, the guys that I went skiing with, they were really good skiers. I mean, these guys had been skiing. First of all, they were in the high school ski club. They've been skiing to Colorado and, all over the place, Utah. They were big time skiers. Me, again, not a skier. They had their own skis. They were nice skis. They were the kind I'm sure you've seen because you're a sports guy. You got your big ski boots and you just step right into the skis. Yep. You got your poles, you hop on the lift and you go up and you do your thing. Well, I didn't have my own skis and my parents certainly were not going to buy me, $500 skis, having never done it before. So I thought, well, we'll give it a try. So we go and I rent the skis there. Now, if anybody remembers this, and I don't know if this is still the case at Mad River Mountain, the place in Sugar Creek, like I said, long gone. The skis that you rented were probably from, I don't know, the 1930s. They were old. They were not great. And they were attached to your boot. You'd step in them, but they were strapped to your boot. And when you think about it, it kind of makes sense. If you're learning to ski and you fall down, you don't want the ski to go, flying down the hill. You got to keep it close, right? Now, the good skis have brakes on them. Like if your foot pops out, the little thing pops down, and usually that is enough to stop your ski from going down the hill. These rental skis were not that way. So you had this cord of death is really what it was. Because if you fell and your skis came off, you were rolling and spinning and falling down the hill, and those skis are still attached to you, clunking you on the head.
Yeah.
Well, I get there and I take the class. There's a beginner's class. So I take this class and it's like 45 minutes. I'm learning how to snowplow. And that's how you stop. I'm learning how to plant the pole and go around the pole. These little things. But I have to tell you, after about an hour of that, I was done. I was like, okay, well, I've learned how to ski. And I'm going to stick to the bunny hill, which is the little kids hill. Right.
Yeah.
But at that point I was a high school, junior, senior, whatever it was. So I'm out there with a bunch of 4 and 5 year olds who can really ski and they're in the class and I'm not that, So, but I'm thinking this is my time's done. I'm going to go take the skis back. My friends are like, no, you got to go up. You got to go up. You got to go up the hill. Now they had 2 hills. There was quad 1 and quad 2. Quad 1 was kind of a very basic hill, very, very wide, very long and sloping. And quad 2 was more, I would say, more expert. It was a little steeper, had some jumps on it. So my friends convinced me. They're like, oh, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Let's just go up quad 1. So we're going up quad 1. And first of all, I knew that this was going to end badly. I knew this. So imagine this. And you've seen the videos like on TikTok. I saw this is kind of what made me think of it. I saw a video on TikTok of two people trying to get off the lift and it not going well. I have a similar story. Not just getting off the lift, but going on the lift. And I'm trying to get on the lift, and the first thing I do is I don't sit down when I'm supposed to, and it knocks me down. The lift chair knocks me down. So they have to stop the lift, which is embarrassing, right? You're in high school. There's pretty girls out there, little snow bunnies, and it's embarrassing. Well, they stopped the lift. I managed to stand back up, get my ski back on, and, they basically set me there on the lift. Then I start going up. Now, that part is easy. Sitting on your butt, floating in the air, that's the easy part. So we get to the top, and if you've never been skiing before and you've never been on a ski lift, the one thing that will save your life that they ought to tell you, and they didn't to me, was then when you get to the top of that lift and you're ready to ski off, stand up and ski off the hill from the lift landing, you got to put your tips up. You got to put the tips of your ski up. They didn't tell me that. So quite literally, the tips of my skis went into the side of the hill, which then catapulted me forward onto my stomach, onto my face. That was the second time they had to stop the lift because of me. And at this point, this is when the skis come off. And I'm trying to walk and get out of the way while I'm dragging along these two, skis that are tied to my boots. It was a nightmare. So finally, I get out of the way. They start the lift again. I got my skis back on. And at this point, I'm like, I'm just going to walk. I'm just going to walk home or walk down the hill. I said, can I take the lift down? They're like, no, you can't ride down the lift. You can only ride up the lift, which I think was crazy. But you couldn't do that. So I'm like, well, what am I going to do? I guess I'm just going to have to walk down this giant hill in these big clunky boots, carrying my skis over my shoulder. Well, that wasn't going to fly. So we get to the top of the hill. My friends are like, come on, you can do this. You can do this. Cajoling me on. And at that point, a ski advisor or ski instructor, or whoever, ski patrol, I think is really what it was. They swoop up next to me, and it's this old guy and his teenage daughter. They're both wearing like ski patrol jackets. So you can tell, yes, they're experts. Well, they're asking me, how you doing? Are you okay? Do you need any help? And I'm like, yeah, I need to figure out how to get down without breaking my neck. So he pushes me back from the tip of the edge of the hill. After, by the way, I dropped one of my poles. That slid down the hill. He pushes me back from the top of the hill, and he stands in front of me, spread eagle, and he says, put your skis inside of mine. So like he's got his skis on the outside and my skis are on the inside. And he says, bear hug me. So I'm holding on to this guy for dear life. And I'm thinking, okay, he's just going to take me down the side, kind of out of the way, out of harm's way. Quite honestly, out of the view of everyone else, because this is very embarrassing. And it's embarrassing to my friends that their lame friend can't do this. But no, he doesn't do that. He basically takes me down the hill as though I was skiing, because I guess he wanted me to have the experience. And as I was holding on for dear life, and I was kind of had my head turned, I'm watching the people going up the lift. They're on the lift, sitting in the chairs. And I know I'm not making this up. They were pointing. They were pointing their poles at me, laughing at this spectacle. Now, you would think that that would be the end of the story, but it wasn't. After that night, I got off the hill. I took my skis back and I said, I'm done. I'm done. Well, a year later, I'd been thinking about it and brewing about this for just, this has been stirred up in my mind. I could do this. I could do this. So I went there on my own, not with my friends, on my own. And I put my mind to it and I did it. And I made it up the hill, up the lift without crashing into the side of the mountain with my tips, and down the ski hill. And in fact, I went skiing probably 5 or 6 times that winter at Sugar Creek. And I finally made it to Quad 2. And I conquered it. But that was the last time I ever went skiing. Yeah. It's just it's
Too much pressure?
Yeah, it would be a dumb ways to die, and I would end up on the show.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.